The day at the park. It was a bright and sunny Saturday afternoon when families flocked to the park. Children laughed and played while their parents enjoyed picnics on the green grass. The park was filled with happy voices and the sweet smell of flowers. Among the excited kids was a young boy named Malik, who was known for his adventurous spirit. Malik loved exploring every corner of the park. He was a small boy with bright eyes and an infectious smile. Today, he wore a red t-shirt and blue shorts, ready for a day filled with fun. He had a special friend named Ava, a 6-year-old girl with curly hair and a love for butterflies. They often played together, sharing adventures and dreams. As Malik and Ava ran towards the swings, they spotted a beautiful butterfly fluttering nearby. Ava's eyes lit up. "Look, Malik, let's catch it," she exclaimed, pointing at the delicate creature. Malik nodded, and the two friends chased after the butterfly, laughing as it danced in the air. After a few minutes of running, the butterfly flew towards the edge of the park, near the trees. Malik hesitated. He had heard stories about strange happenings in the woods, but his curiosity got the best of him. Ava, always eager for an adventure, ran ahead. "Come on, Malik. Don't be scared," she called out. Malik followed closely, but as they neared the woods, he felt a sudden chill. The shadows in the trees seemed darker than before. He could see the butterfly flitting between the branches, but something else caught his eye. A figure hiding in the bushes. It looked suspicious, and Malik's heart began to race. "Ava, wait," he shouted, but she was too busy chasing the butterfly. As they reached the edge of the woods, Malik noticed the figure moving closer. It was a man, and he looked rough around the edges. Malik's instincts told him something was wrong. "Ava, let's go back," he urged, but Ava was already mesmerized by the butterfly's beauty. Just then, the man stepped out from the shadows. He had wild hair and a strange look in his eyes. Malik felt fear creeping in, but he didn't want Ava to see it. Instead, he tried to sound brave. "Ava, let's go to the swings. We can catch the butterfly later," he insisted. But Ava shook her head. "No, I want to catch it now," she said stubbornly. Malik watched as she moved closer to the butterfly, completely unaware of the danger lurking behind her. The man suddenly reached out and grabbed Ava's arm. Malik's heart stopped. "Hey, let her go," Malik shouted, his voice trembling. He felt a surge of anger and fear. He knew he had to protect his friend, but what could he do? The man smiled, but it was not a friendly smile. "Why don't you go home, little boy? This girl is coming with me," he said, pulling Ava closer to him. Malik felt a rush of panic. He couldn't let this happen. Not to Ava. He remembered his dad's words, "Always be brave in tough situations." With that thought in mind, Malik took a deep breath and stepped forward. "Let her go. You can't take her," he yelled, trying to sound confident even though his knees shook. Ava looked at Malik, her eyes wide with fear. "Malik, help me," she cried. The sound of her voice pushed Malik to act. He quickly glanced around, hoping someone would notice them. But the park seemed distant and empty, the laughter and joy fading into the background. The man laughed, a harsh sound that sent chills down Malik's spine. "What are you going to do, little boy? You think you can stop me?" he taunted, tightening his grip on Ava. Malik felt a mix of fear and determination swell within him. In that moment, Malik knew he had to act fast. He looked around desperately, spotting a nearby stick on the ground. It was small, but it was all he had. He picked it up, feeling its rough surface in his hand. "Stay back," Malik shouted, brandishing the stick like a sword. The man paused, surprised by Malik's bravery. "What are you going to do with that?" he sneered. Malik's heart pounded in his chest. He had no plan, but he could not let Ava down. He had to distract the man long enough for Ava to escape. "Just let her go," Malik shouted again, stepping closer. The man looked annoyed, his grip on Ava still tight. Malik felt a surge of courage. He had to protect his friend. He took a deep breath and made a sudden move. Malik threw the stick with all his might. It flew through the air, hitting the man on the shoulder. The unexpected hit surprised the kidnapper, making him flinch and loosen his grip on Ava for just a moment. This brief opportunity was all Malik needed. "Ava, run!" he yelled, and in that instant, everything changed. Malik's bravery sparked hope. But what would happen next? Would they be able to escape the danger lurking in the woods? The stage was set for an incredible adventure, and Malik's heart raced as he prepared for the next steps. The park, once filled with laughter, was now the backdrop for a life-threatening challenge. Would Malik's bravery be enough to save his friend? Only time would tell. The escape plan. Malik's heart raced as he saw the surprise flash across the man's face. His throw had worked. Ava, sensing the moment of opportunity, quickly pulled away from the man's grip and stumbled back towards Malik. "Malik, what do we do?" she cried, her eyes wide with fear. Malik glanced around, searching for help. The park was still lively, but nobody seemed to notice the unfolding drama. He knew they had to get away, but the woods loomed dark and scary behind them. "We need to run, Ava. Now," he urged, grabbing her hand tightly. As they turned to escape, the man recovered quickly. "Hey, come back here," he shouted, his voice filled with anger. Malik felt a chill run down his spine, but he didn't look back. They sprinted towards the park's exit, their feet pounding against the ground. "Which way?" Ava panted, glancing around frantically. Malik was determined to lead her to safety, but everything felt chaotic. He remembered the playground was nearby, where other kids played and adults watched over them. "To the swings. We'll be safe there," he yelled. They dashed across the open field, the bright colors of the park fading behind them. Malik could hear the man's footsteps thundering behind them. The boy pushed himself to run faster, pulling Ava along as they neared the swings. "Just a little further," he encouraged her, his own heart racing in fear. Reaching the playground, they spotted a group of kids playing nearby. Malik felt a sense of hope surge within him. If they could just reach the other children, maybe someone would help. "Help! Somebody help us!" Malik shouted, his voice rising above the sounds of laughter. The kids turned, confused by the commotion. Malik's eyes darted around for an adult, but the park seemed almost deserted. He felt a knot of panic in his stomach. They needed someone strong to confront the man, but time was running out. Suddenly, Malik noticed a tall girl sitting on a nearby bench. She looked about 13, with long braids and a serious expression. Malik pointed to her. "That girl. Let's go to her," he said, pulling Ava towards the bench. As they approached, Malik shouted again, "Please, we need help. That man is chasing us." The girl looked alarmed and quickly stood up. "Where?" she asked, scanning the area. Just then, they saw the man emerge from the trees, his face twisted in anger. "There. He's right there," Malik yelled, pointing. The girl's eyes widened, and she stood tall. "You two, come behind me," she commanded. Malik and Ava hurried to her side, feeling a surge of hope. The girl's confidence reassured them. "What do you want?" she called out to the man, her voice steady. The man slowed down, a sneer spreading across his face. "Just a couple of kids who shouldn't be in the woods," he replied, trying to sound threatening. Malik felt a tremor of fear, but pushed it aside. He couldn't let Ava down now. "Why are you bothering them?" the girl asked, stepping forward protectively. "You need to leave them alone." Malik admired her bravery. She stood firm, eyes narrowed, refusing to back down. The man glanced around, realizing he was being challenged. "It's none of your business, girl. Just step aside," he said, trying to sound intimidating. But Malik noticed a flicker of hesitation in the man's eyes. Perhaps he wasn't as tough as he pretended to be. Malik took a deep breath, feeling a mix of fear and determination. "You can't take us. "We're not going anywhere with you," he shouted, his voice steady. He felt stronger standing next to the girl, bolstered by her bravery. Ava clung to Malik's arm, looking frightened but determined. "You're not going to hurt us," she echoed, surprising herself with her own courage. The man glared at them, but Malik could see his confidence starting to waver. The tall girl looked at Malik and Ava. "On the count of 3, we're going to run to the playground," she instructed, her voice calm and steady. "Just follow my lead. Ready?" Malik nodded, his heart pounding with adrenaline. He glanced back at the man, who looked increasingly frustrated. 1, 2, 3, the girl shouted, and they all took off running towards the playground. Malik's legs felt like they were flying as they sprinted across the grass. The swings and slides loomed closer, and he could hear the sounds of laughter and joy from other children. They dashed past the other kids, who were now watching in confusion. "Why are you running?" one boy asked, but Malik didn't have time to answer. They needed to reach safety. Behind them, the man shouted angrily, but they didn't look back. The playground felt like a safe haven, filled with laughter and joy. As they reached the swings, the girl turned to face Malik and Ava. "Stay close to me," she said, standing tall. "If he comes near us, we'll yell for help." Malik felt grateful for her support. They huddled together, watching the man approach the playground. "Hey, you can't just run away from me," he shouted, trying to intimidate them. Malik's heart raced as the man advanced, but he held his ground. The girl stood firm beside him, her presence strong and unwavering. In that moment, Malik realized they weren't alone anymore. They had each other, and together, they could face whatever came next. Would the man back down, or would they need to find another way to escape? Only time would tell, but Malik was ready to fight for his friend. The unexpected help. Malik stood alongside Ava and the tall girl, ready to defend themselves against the angry man approaching the playground. The sun shone brightly above them, but Malik felt a chill as the man's menacing presence loomed closer. His heart raced, and he could feel the tension in the air. "Who do you think you are?" the man shouted, his voice loud and threatening. "You think you can just run away from me? You're going to regret this." Malik clenched his fists, determination flooding his veins. He wouldn't let fear take over. The tall girl, who had introduced herself as Jenna, stood firm beside them. "You're not going to hurt anyone here," she declared boldly, her voice steady. Malik admired Jenna's courage. "Yeah, you can't just take her," he shouted, surprising himself with his own bravery. Ava squeezed his hand, her eyes wide but hopeful. The presence of the other kids at the playground gave them a sense of security. They were no longer alone. The man paused, his anger simmering beneath the surface. He looked around, noticing the other children gathering nearby, their eyes wide with confusion and concern. "Get lost, kids. This doesn't concern you," he barked, but his voice lacked conviction. Malik could see the man was losing his confidence. Jenna took a step forward. "We won't let you take her. If you don't leave us alone, we'll call the police," she declared, raising her phone. Malik felt a surge of hope. Jenna was showing them how to stand up for themselves. He quickly pulled out his own phone, ready to call for help if needed. The man scoffed, trying to regain his bravado. "You kids think you can scare me. You're just wasting my time." But Malik saw the flicker of doubt in the man's eyes. Maybe he wasn't as tough as he pretended to be. Suddenly, a loud voice cut through the tension. "Hey, what's going on here?" A park ranger approached, his uniform bright against the backdrop of the park. He looked authoritative, and Malik felt a rush of relief wash over him. They were going to be okay. "Stay back," the man shouted, his demeanor shifting again. "These kids are trouble. I was just teaching them a lesson." The ranger narrowed his eyes, surveying the scene. "Teaching them a lesson, or trying to scare them," he replied, his voice firm. "You need to leave these kids alone." Malik watched as the man's bravado began to crack. I was just talking to them, he insisted, but Malik could hear the tremor in his voice. Jenna stepped forward, her expression serious. He was trying to take Ava into the woods. She shouted, pointing to Ava, who stood beside Malik, trembling slightly. The ranger turned to Ava. Is that true? Ava nodded, her voice shaking. Yes. He grabbed me, and we were scared. Malik helped me. The ranger's expression hardened. You need to stay with your friends and report anything like this immediately. Kids shouldn't be out here alone. Do you understand? Yes, sir, Malik replied, feeling grateful that help had arrived. The man glared at the ranger, his confidence fading. I didn't do anything wrong. You can't just believe them. The ranger stepped closer, his demeanor serious. You're not supposed to be bothering kids in the park. If you don't leave right now, I'll have to call the police. Malik felt a sense of triumph as the man's face fell. He looked around, realizing he was outnumbered. This is ridiculous. He spat, backing away slowly. I don't have to listen to you. But the ranger stood firm. You need to go. If you come back, there will be consequences. With one last glare at Malik, Ava, and Jenna, the man turned and walked away, his shoulders slumped in defeat. Malik let out a breath he didn't know he was holding. They were safe. The park ranger turned to them, a reassuring smile on his face. You did the right thing by standing together. Always look out for each other. Malik nodded, feeling a swell of pride. Thank you for coming, he said, glancing at Jenna and Ava. You kids stay safe, all right, the ranger said before walking away. Once the ranger was out of sight, Jenna turned to Malik and Ava. You both were amazing. I can't believe we did that. Malik smiled, feeling a rush of adrenaline. We worked together. We're like a team. Ava laughed nervously, relief washing over her. I thought we were going to be in big trouble. Me too, Malik admitted, feeling the weight of the experience. But we showed him that we're not afraid. The sun continued to shine brightly, and the park felt vibrant again. Other children returned to their games, laughter filling the air. Malik realized they had turned a scary moment into something empowering. Let's go play, Jenna suggested, her eyes sparkling with excitement. I want to swing high. Ava giggled, and Malik felt a sense of normalcy return. Yeah, let's go. They ran towards the swings, leaving the fear behind. As they played, Malik felt grateful for their friendship. They had faced a challenge together and come out stronger. No matter what happened next, Malik knew they could handle it. Today was just the beginning of their adventures, and they would always have each other's backs. The aftermath. As the sun began to set, casting a warm golden light over the park, Malik, Ava, and Jenna felt a mix of excitement and relief. The scare from earlier began to fade, replaced by the laughter of children playing around them. Malik, still buzzing from the adrenaline, watched as Ava swung higher and higher, her smile lighting up her face. Look at me. I'm flying, Ava shouted, her feet kicking out into the open air. Malik couldn't help but grin. It was amazing how quickly things had turned around. Just hours ago, they had been in a frightening situation, and now they were enjoying the simple pleasures of being kids. Jenna joined Malik on the swings, and they started to swing in sync. That was so intense, she said, her voice full of excitement. I can't believe we stood up to that guy. Malik nodded. I thought I was going to freeze up when he came closer. But when I saw how scared Ava was, I had to do something. You were brave, Jenna praised. You really helped her. And you too, Ava. You didn't back down. Ava beamed at their compliments. I just wanted to be safe. I didn't know what to do. But you did what was right, Malik said. And that's what matters. They continued swinging, the sound of laughter around them creating a joyous atmosphere. But Malik's mind kept drifting back to what had happened earlier. He couldn't shake the feeling that they had faced something much bigger than just an angry man in the park. After a while, they hopped off the swings, and Jenna suggested they grab a snack from the nearby vendor. I could go for some ice cream. Who's with me? She said, her eyes shining. I'm in, Ava exclaimed, her face lighting up at the idea of ice cream. Malik nodded in agreement, and they hurried over to the vendor, excitement bubbling inside them. As they waited in line, Malik spotted a group of kids gathered near the entrance of the park. They looked worried and were whispering among themselves. Malik's curiosity piqued. What's going on over there? He wondered aloud. I don't know, Jenna said, squinting to see. Maybe they saw what happened earlier. Ava tugged at Malik's sleeve. Should we go see? Malik hesitated, but then decided they should. Yeah, let's check it out. As they approached the group, Malik overheard snippets of conversation. I heard he was trying to take a girl. And what if he comes back? Echoed in the anxious murmurs. What happened? Malik asked the nearest kid, a boy named Kevin. Did you guys see that man? The one who grabbed that girl? Kevin replied, his voice trembling. He was really scary. Everyone is saying he might come back. Malik felt a chill run down his spine. The fear from earlier had returned. But he's gone now. The ranger made him leave. Malik reassured Kevin. Yeah, but what if he comes back when there's no one around? Kevin said, glancing nervously toward the park's entrance. Jenna stepped forward, her voice steady. We have to make sure everyone is safe. If we see him, we'll tell a grown-up. Together, we can watch out for each other. The other kids nodded, feeling a sense of unity in the face of fear. Malik realized how important it was to come together as a community, especially in times like this. As they formed a little group, Jenna suggested they spread out and keep an eye on different areas of the park. Let's make sure no one is alone. If we stick together, we can keep everyone safe. Malik felt proud of his friends. They were taking charge of the situation, and he wanted to be part of it. They agreed to meet back at the swings in 20 minutes, and with that, they went their separate ways, keeping a watchful eye on the park. Malik wandered near the picnic area, observing families and kids playing games. He felt more confident now, knowing he was part of something bigger. He spotted Ava and Jenna chatting with a few other kids, spreading the word to stay alert. As he walked, Malik noticed a woman with a baby stroller. The baby was laughing and reaching for the colorful balloons tied to the stroller. Malik couldn't help but smile. Moments like these reminded him that joy could be found even in challenging times. Suddenly, Malik heard a commotion near the playground. A girl screamed, and his heart raced. He rushed toward the sound, his instincts kicking in. As he approached, he saw a group of kids huddled around a small boy who had fallen off the slide. Is he okay? Malik asked, crouching down to check. The boy was crying, but a girl was comforting him. He just bumped his knee, she explained. I think he'll be fine. Malik felt a wave of relief wash over him. You're doing a great job helping him. The girl smiled, clearly grateful for the support. Malik realized that even in a park filled with fear, there was still kindness and compassion among the kids. After a few moments, the boy stopped crying, and Malik helped him to his feet. Let's go back to the swings, Malik suggested, feeling good about helping someone else. When he returned to the swings, Jenna and Ava were waiting. What happened? Jenna asked, her eyes bright with curiosity. There was a little boy who fell. I helped him, Malik replied, feeling proud. You're such a hero today, Ava exclaimed, and Malik felt his cheeks warm at the praise. They all shared their experiences from their watchful patrol, realizing that even small acts of kindness could make a difference. As they sat together on the swings, Malik knew this day would be one they would never forget. They had faced fears, helped others, and most importantly, they had done it together. As the sun dipped lower in the sky, painting the park in hues of orange and pink, Malik felt hopeful. The world was still a place of kindness, and as long as they had each other, they could face anything that came their way. The courageous stand. As the last rays of sunlight faded, the park began to take on a softer, quieter atmosphere. Malik, Ava, and Jenna sat on the swings, their laughter still echoing around them. But a sense of seriousness loomed in the air. The earlier events were still fresh in their minds, and they couldn't shake the feeling that the danger was not completely gone. "Do you think he'll really come back?" Ava asked, her voice small as she swung back and forth. Malik could see the worry in her eyes. He wished he could reassure her completely, but he had the same fear deep down. "I don't know," Malik replied honestly. "But if he does, we'll be ready." Jenna nodded. "Yeah, we know what to do now. We can stick together and keep an eye on each other." As they talked, a faint noise caught Malik's attention. He turned to see a man approaching the park entrance. At first, he looked like any other person, but something about him made Malik's heart race. The way he walked with purpose, the scowl on his face, it sent a chill down Malik's spine. "Guys, look," Malik whispered, pointing toward the man. Ava's eyes widened. "Is that him?" Malik wasn't sure, but he had a bad feeling. "Let's go tell the ranger," he said urgently. The three of them jumped off the swings and hurried toward the park office, their hearts pounding. As they reached the office, they spotted Officer Harris, the park ranger. He was sitting at the desk, writing in a notebook. Malik took a deep breath before speaking. "Officer Harris, we think that man is back." He looked really scary. "Which man?" Officer Harris asked, looking up with a concerned expression. "The one who tried to grab Ava earlier," Jenna said, her voice trembling. "He just came into the park." Officer Harris immediately stood up, concern etched on his face. "Are you sure? Can you describe him?" Malik nodded. He was wearing a black jacket and had a really mean look on his face. He walked toward the playground. "Stay here. I'll check it out," Officer Harris instructed, his tone serious. The kids watched as Officer Harris headed toward the entrance, his eyes scanning the area for any sign of trouble. Malik felt a mix of fear and determination. They had done everything right so far. Now they just had to trust that the officer could keep everyone safe. While they waited, Ava fidgeted nervously. "What if he sees us?" she whispered, her voice shaky. "He won't," Malik assured her. "We're safe here. We did the right thing by telling Officer Harris." Moments later, Officer Harris returned. "The man is gone, but I want you kids to stay close together and keep an eye out. If you see him again, don't hesitate to tell me or another adult." Malik felt a surge of pride at being taken seriously. "Thank you, officer," he said, feeling more confident. With the immediate threat gone, they decided to stay in the office for a while, chatting with Officer Harris about their day and how they felt. He encouraged them for being brave and sticking together. "You all showed a lot of courage today. It's important to look out for each other," he said, giving them each a reassuring smile. After a while, Malik suggested they head back outside. The sun had completely set, and the park was illuminated by soft lights. The atmosphere felt different now, less about fear and more about friendship and support. As they walked back to the swings, Malik felt a strong bond forming between them. "I'm glad we're all friends," he said. "Today was scary, but we did it together." "Yeah," Ava agreed, her voice brightening. "We really helped each other." Jenna nodded enthusiastically. "And we're going to keep helping people. If we see anyone who needs help, we should jump in and do what we can." They spent the next few minutes discussing their ideas on how to stay safe and support their friends in the park. They came up with a plan to create a little safety team at school, where they could look out for each other and spread awareness about staying safe. "I want to make a poster," Ava said excitedly. "We can put it up in our classroom." "That's a great idea," Malik agreed. "We should include tips on how to stay safe and what to do if something scary happens." Just then, they heard laughter coming from the picnic area. A family was having a small gathering, and the sound of joy lifted their spirits. "Let's join them," Jenna suggested, her eyes sparkling. They approached the picnic area, where the family welcomed them with open arms. They were happy to share their food, and soon Malik, Ava, and Jenna were enjoying hot dogs and cookies. The warmth and laughter of the gathering felt like a blanket of comfort around them. As they sat together, Malik couldn't help but feel grateful. The day had started with fear and uncertainty, but now it was filled with friendship, bravery, and joy. He realized that sometimes scary moments could lead to amazing things. As they finished their snacks and shared stories, Malik looked at his friends. They had faced something difficult together, but it had only made them stronger. They were ready to face whatever came next, together. As they packed up to leave, Malik glanced back at the playground, feeling proud of how far they had come. The day had been full of surprises, but they had learned the true meaning of friendship and courage. "We did it, guys," Malik said with a grin. "Yeah, we did," Ava echoed, and Jenna nodded, their spirits high as they left the park, knowing they had each other's backs, no matter what. The unexpected call. The next day, Malik woke up with a sense of determination. The events of the previous day still replayed in his mind. He felt proud of the stand they had taken together, but he knew they couldn't let their guard down. As he got ready for school, he noticed the news was on in the background. "And police are urging parents to keep their children safe in public parks," the anchor reported. "After recent incidents, it's vital to be aware of your surroundings." Malik paused, his heart racing. He remembered Officer Harris's words about keeping an eye out for danger. He grabbed his backpack and headed out, thinking about how he could help raise awareness at school. At school, the bell rang, and students rushed to their classes. Malik met Ava and Jenna by the lockers. "I think we should do something about what happened yesterday," he said, excitement buzzing in his voice. "We could talk to our teacher and see if we can create a safety project." "That's a great idea," Jenna exclaimed. "Maybe we can include a presentation about what to do if someone feels unsafe." Ava nodded, her face lighting up. "We could even make posters and share our stories." They hurried to their classroom, eager to speak with Mrs. Thompson, their kind teacher. When they entered, she was setting up for the day. "Good morning, class. What's got you all so excited?" "Mrs. Thompson, can we talk to you about something important?" Malik asked, his voice filled with urgency. "Of course. What is it?" she replied, noticing their serious expressions. "We want to create a safety project to help kids know what to do if they ever feel scared or see something bad happening," Jenna explained. Mrs. Thompson smiled, impressed by their initiative. "I think that's a wonderful idea. We can make it a class project. How about we all work together?" The class buzzed with excitement as they brainstormed ideas. Malik, Ava, and Jenna took the lead, guiding their classmates in creating a list of safety tips. They discussed everything from staying in groups to recognizing when something felt wrong. "Let's also include stories of how we helped each other," Ava suggested, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. "It will show everyone that they're not alone." As the class worked together, Malik felt a sense of pride. They were taking action and spreading awareness. It felt good to be proactive instead of just feeling scared. Just then, the classroom door swung open, and the principal, Mr. Ramirez, stepped in. "Hello, everyone. I hear you're working on something special," he said, looking around the room. "We're creating a safety project to help kids feel safe." Malik spoke up, eager to share their mission. Mr. Ramirez smiled, nodding in approval. "That's an excellent initiative. How about presenting it at the next school assembly? You could inspire everyone." The class erupted in cheers, and Malik felt a rush of excitement. They were not just making a project. They were going to share it with the whole school. As the day went on, they planned their presentation and gathered materials for their posters. Malik and his friends worked hard, determined to make a difference. When they finished, Malik felt accomplished. The project was more than just a school assignment. It was a chance to make a real impact. They knew that sharing their story could help others feel empowered. Later that evening, Malik received a call from Ava. "Hey Malik, I was thinking, what if we create a hotline for kids to call if they feel scared?" "That's a brilliant idea," Malik exclaimed. "We could make a card with the number and share it at school." They spent the next hour discussing the hotline, feeling inspired by their shared vision. Malik loved how their friendship had grown stronger through their shared experiences. The following day, it was time for the school assembly. As Malik stood backstage with Ava and Jenna, he felt butterflies in his stomach. What if they don't take us seriously? He wondered aloud. "Don't worry," Ava said, giving him a reassuring smile. "We have each other's backs. Just remember why we're doing this." When it was their turn to present, they stepped onto the stage, feeling the eyes of the entire school on them. Malik took a deep breath and began. "Hi everyone, we're here to talk about something very important, keeping each other safe." Ava and Jenna shared their experiences, and as they spoke, Malik felt a sense of empowerment. They explained the importance of being aware of their surroundings and shared the hotline idea, encouraging everyone to look out for one another. The crowd listened intently, and Malik could see nods of agreement and understanding. They had captured their audience's attention. After their presentation, the audience erupted in applause. Malik beamed with pride, feeling the support of his classmates. As they left the stage, Mr. Ramirez approached them with a big smile. "I'm proud of all of you. You've inspired the whole school today." Malik felt his heart swell with happiness. They had turned their fear into something positive, and together, they were making a difference. As they walked back to their classroom, Ava looked at Malik and said, "I'm so glad we did this. It feels good to help others." "Yeah," Malik agreed, feeling a sense of purpose, "and we'll keep working together to make sure everyone feels safe." With that promise, Malik, Ava, and Jenna knew that their journey was just beginning. They were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, united as friends and protectors. The call for action. As days turned into weeks, the safety project Malik and his friends initiated continued to gain momentum. Students began to take the safety tips seriously, and the hotline they set up became a lifeline for those who felt scared or unsure. Malik often found himself at the center of discussions, encouraging his classmates to stay vigilant and supportive of one another. One afternoon, as they were cleaning up after a meeting, Malik received a text from Ava. "Big news, we have a surprise guest at school tomorrow. You won't believe who it is." Curiosity piqued. Malik texted back, "Who? Tell me. I can't spoil it. You'll just have to wait and see." She replied, teasingly. The next day, excitement buzzed in the air. Students whispered about the special guest during lunch, speculating wildly. Malik and his friends gathered at their usual table, eyes wide with anticipation. "Do you think it's a celebrity?" Jenna asked, her voice filled with excitement. "Maybe it's someone from the news," Ava suggested. As they finished their lunches, the principal's voice rang through the loudspeaker. "Attention students, we are honored to have a very special guest with us today. Please welcome Officer Harris." The cafeteria erupted in applause as Officer Harris walked in, his uniform crisp and proud. He smiled at the students, clearly pleased to see their enthusiasm. "Thank you for that warm welcome. I'm here to talk about something very important, community safety," he said, his voice steady and confident. "And I've heard wonderful things about the project initiated by some of our very own students." Malik's heart raced with excitement as Officer Harris continued. "I want to commend Malik, Ava, and Jenna for their outstanding work. Your initiative has not only raised awareness, but has also created a safe environment for all of you." Malik felt a wave of pride wash over him. He shared a glance with Ava and Jenna, who beamed back at him. "Today, I'm here to ask for your help," Officer Harris said, his tone serious. "We're looking for young leaders to join our community safety program. We need passionate students like you to help spread the message even further." The cafeteria buzzed with energy as students exchanged excited whispers. Malik felt a surge of determination. This was their chance to make an even bigger impact. After Officer Harris's speech, Malik, Ava, and Jenna rushed to the front to speak with him. "We want to help," Malik exclaimed, his eyes shining. "What can we do?" Officer Harris smiled, clearly impressed by their enthusiasm. "Let's set up a meeting next week to discuss ideas. I would love to hear your thoughts on how we can involve more students and raise even more awareness about safety." "Absolutely," Jenna replied eagerly. As they walked out of the cafeteria, Malik felt as if their efforts were finally paying off. He knew this was just the beginning. They could reach even more kids and keep their community safe together. Later that evening, Malik couldn't sleep. He lay in bed, replaying the day's events in his mind. The thrill of working with Officer Harris filled him with excitement. What if they could create a citywide safety program? The thought sent chills down his spine. The next day at school, the buzz continued. Word had spread about Officer Harris's visit, and students approached Malik and his friends with questions and ideas. "How can we help?" they asked eagerly. Malik smiled, feeling like a true leader. "Let's brainstorm together. We can create more safety tips, and we can even hold workshops." In the days that followed, the trio organized a workshop after school, inviting students to come and share their thoughts on safety. They prepared fun activities, including role-playing scenarios where students could practice what to do in dangerous situations. The workshop was a hit. Students participated enthusiastically, and the atmosphere was charged with positivity. Malik felt a sense of fulfillment as they shared their experiences and learned from each other. They were building a community, and it felt amazing. As the weeks turned into months, their project blossomed into a full-blown community initiative. They started a safety club, drawing in students from all grades. The club hosted events, created newsletters, and even collaborated with local businesses to spread their message. One day, while walking home, Malik received a phone call. It was Officer Harris. "Hi, Malik. I just wanted to let you know how impressed I am with everything you and your friends have accomplished. I'd like to invite you to the City Council meeting next month. They want to hear about your program." Malik couldn't believe it. "Really? That's amazing." "Yes, you'll get a chance to present to the council. This is a great opportunity to share your vision for community safety," Officer Harris encouraged. With excitement bubbling inside him, Malik called Ava and Jenna to share the news. They couldn't wait to prepare their presentation and share their journey with the city. As they gathered in Malik's living room, they brainstormed ideas for their presentation. "We should highlight the impact we've made so far," Jenna suggested. "And we can share testimonials from students who have felt safer since we started," Ava added. They worked late into the night, fueled by enthusiasm and the desire to make a difference. Finally, the day of the City Council meeting arrived. Malik, Ava, and Jenna stood together, ready to share their story with the city officials. As they presented, they spoke passionately about their experiences, the support they received from their peers, and the importance of community involvement. The council members listened intently, nodding in agreement. When they finished, the room erupted in applause. Malik's heart soared as they received praise for their hard work. "Thank you for your dedication to this important cause. We would like to work with you to expand this program throughout the entire city," the mayor said, a warm smile on his face. Overwhelmed with joy, Malik realized their journey had only just begun. Together, they had turned a frightening experience into something positive, uniting their community in a powerful way. They had grown into advocates for safety and kindness, and they were ready to take on the world together. In that moment, Malik knew they had the power to create change. With determination and friendship, they could make their community a safer place, one step at a time.